Centonomy is 10 years old. And I think it's only right that to mark the fact that we're 10 years old, we turned 10 years old in April, to start talking about what has this 10-year journey been like. And today I want to kick off. I'll be doing a couple of videos. You'll see my colleagues doing a couple of videos and all talking about what does 10 years of being in a business, teaching people about money, teaching people about entrepreneurship in their careers, what does that actually look like? And for me, I just want to start with the fact that it takes 10 years. And a lot of people start things, they start businesses especially, and they believe in 2 years, in 3 years, in 5 years, a lot of things will happen. And I'm not saying some things won't happen sooner, but I think it's important that we start realizing some things, it takes 10 years. I was at a talk yesterday, and the moderator asked people, how many of you know Centonomy? And 90% of the room put up their hands. And I had a moment of like, my goodness, 90% of you know Centonomy. But you know, to build that kind of brand, to build that kind of experience that people can remember, it took 10 years. So today I just want to share some thoughts about what does it take 10 years to do. I walk into my office today and I can see about 50 people are entering and coming for a training. It takes 10 years to get that, to walk into your office and there are 50 people. It takes 10 years to know what you're doing. I started this company 10 years ago by going to individuals and sitting with them and planning their finances. From that became a class. From that became almost the school that Centonomy is known for. But it took 10 years to build up to that. It takes 10 years to have people who want to keep working at Centonomy, who want to work at Centonomy, who want to apply to Centonomy, to have the culture that Centonomy is known for. It took 10 years to actually build that. It took 10 years for me to realize I need help. The first time I went somewhere else to learn how to run a business, I had already been in business about 7 years. But it's in that 10-year journey that I realized, my goodness, I don't know everything. I need help. It took 10 years for me sometimes to demand the help. Last year we were in a program and I didn't get in instantly, but I challenged them and I told them we should be in this program. But it took 10 years to get the courage and the guts to tell people I need to actually be there, to demand our place on the table. It took 10 years for certain doors to open. We now go to companies, we don't find it hard to enter certain companies, but when we started it was impossible to even get to the HR manager of those companies. But it took 10 years, it has taken 10 years of continuously knocking on doors. Some of the clients that we are getting today, I remember in 2012 we tried, but the doors just wouldn't open. Now the doors are opening, and it's been 10 years of knocking on the door and continuing to do what it is we know how to do. People say Centonomy is everywhere. Someone said on our social media the other day, Centonomy is everywhere. But yesterday when I talked to people, a lot of them thought Centonomy started 5 years ago. That means for the first 5 years, we were doing things, but nobody was hearing about it. We were small, we didn't have as many people, we didn't have as many resources, we didn't have as many support. This journey has been also educating people on why they need to be educated on personal finance. So the first 5 years, there's a lot of work behind the scenes that only became visible 5 years ago. So it took 10 years to be able to do that. I've been writing articles the entire 10 years. It's only 5 years ago people started saying, I see your articles, but I've been writing articles all along. It took 10 years to overcome the unbeliever. You know that voice in the head that tells you you can't, let's give up. And we have gone through moments in this company where we should have been given up. We've had the problems any business has had. KRA has come and audited us. We don't have money, we can't pay salaries. They're begging the landlord for the 4th time in a row to give us credit. We've had the same problems any business. But in that 10-year journey, what has happened is the unbeliever has been overcome. He still shows up and tells you what you can and cannot do, but you've learned to transcend the unbeliever and just keep moving. And it's taken 10 years to be able to see another 10 years. Now I can see 10 years. I can visualize 10 years. I can dream about 10 years. But it's having been through 10 years that I can start doing that. So why have I started my 10-year conversation on telling you it takes 10 years? This is not to discourage you. Some things will happen before 10 years, yeah? But I think it's just to get people to stop thinking about your wealth creation journey or your entrepreneurship journey as something that will happen instantly. I believe that is a big lie. Yeah. So it's to say, if you're going to start a business, what's the dream? What's the vision? What is beyond you? What is beyond today about that business? And at Centonomy, what we really do is give you that blank sheet of paper and tell you, come on, we'll equip you with the tools, but design what that looks like. Design what that impact looks like. Design what that fulfillment looks like. Because it might take 10 years. Some things will happen along the way. And what I've talked about today, some things have happened along the way. But when I've been here 10 years, I can look back and connect the dots and help even people who come to our class connect the same dots. It takes 10 years, but the 10 years truly is a blessing. Welcome to our 10-year celebrations at Centonomy.